Well, hello to all of you from around the world. I want to welcome you to this edition of Soulivity Today. We're broadcasting live from our studio right here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and on KMET 1490 AM radio in Southern California. You know me, it's Brian Wesley Johnson, and I'm so glad you're here. And whether you're at home or work or just traveling on by car, we are glad you're here because we have another amazing show, and I have my amazing co-host with me today, Teresa Greco. Hey, Teresa, how are you?
Hi, good morning. Great. And you?
Good. Oh man, I am fantastic. Fantastic. How was your weekend, or as we were discussing just a minute ago, your pre-weekend? What did you do? I know what you did, but people don't out there don't know what you did.
I had the opportunity to see Andrea Bocelli in Pittsburgh, in the front row. In the
Mm,
front
mm.
row. It wasn't just seeing him, but it was seeing him in the front row.
Right, right.
That was like incredible.
That is like chef's kiss. I know it was
Mm,
like his voice is just so pure and just so like it's like, oh,
mhm,
wow.
mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It
That's
brought me
really
to tears
cool.
a couple times.
Wow. I mean, the huh. How did it affect you? I just asked you that real quick. I mean, from being in the front row, I mean, I've seen him on TV and that kind of thing, but being there in person and seeing him right there in the front, what was that like for you?
So it brought tears to my eyes a couple times. I just felt so blessed to have been able to have the opportunity to see him that close. And I haven't been to lots of concerts, but I've been to some concerts, and usually I watch the person from the big screen because they're
Mhm.
too small to see on the stage from the seats that I have. And I could see like the wrinkles on his face. I could see like the veins on his
Wow.
hands. Yeah. Like I was like, this is like, and you're so close, so you would rather watch him than watch him on the display. Um,
Wow.
so it was great. And then he had other singers too. So it wasn't him the whole time. It was like over
Mhm.
2.5 hours, and he had
Mhm.
other,
Mhm.
singers and dancers that were on the stage too, so it was a really great concert. He's still touring, so I encourage people, depending on
Yeah.
what city he's in, to take advantage of it because it's a really great show.
I would highly encourage it as well because he's amazing. Like amazing, 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 amazing. Um, we have a great show today. And you
Yay!
know what? I was just thinking that it's a great show mainly because you're here too, but it's also our regular Motivational Monday show where we are bringing you the best of news and information to keep you, motivated and inspired for the week. And I'm just so glad that all of you are here with us today because we got some really, really, really great information and some great stories. And Teresa, I was thinking about this today, that it's kismet that we're with each other today because of the fact that millions from across the United States will watch live as the total solar eclipse moves across North America this afternoon. Um,
Mhm.
I, it doesn't. I think it doesn't matter where you are, but specifically, it'll be traveling through Mexico, across the United States, from Texas to Maine, and out across Canada's Atlantic coast. That'll be the main arc. But no matter where you are, even in Canada, you'll be able to see some of the eclipse. I think here in DC, um, it'll be something like um, 80, 90, almost 90%, you know, covered. So it'll
Mm.
be amazing sight. And I was thinking about like, who could we have tell us today about like the marvel of this and how to watch it. And I thought that who better but a bunch of astronauts. And so here's 4 astronauts from NASA telling us about the solar eclipse and how to watch it today.
Hello, stargazers. We're NASA astronauts Stephen Bowen,
Woody Hobart,
Frank Rubio,
and astronaut Sultan Niadi.
We're on a mission to get you all ready for the upcoming total eclipse.
and there's a lot to cover. What? Where? How? When?
a total eclipse happens when the moon travels between the sun and the earth and completely blocks the light from the sun. If you are in the path of totality, everything will get dark and you'll be in for the show of a lifetime. Expect a lot of excitement.
If you want to know where the path will travel, I've got a map right here for you. The path will stretch from North America, starting from Mexico to Maine, and even a tiny bit of Canada.
The only time you can look at the total eclipse without eye protection is during a brief period of totality, when the moon completely covers the sun. Viewing any part of the sun without protection, even for a short amount of time, can cause serious eye damage.
One way to safely view the sun is with eclipse glasses. Solar eclipse glasses are thousands of times darker than traditional sunglasses. Make sure they're ISO certified by looking for a label like this one. If they appear to be scratched or damaged, don't use them.
If you don't have eclipse glasses, you can use an indirect viewing method like a pinhole projector.
Basically, use any holly object and cast a shadow on a nearby surface and check out the crescent shapes.
If you're feeling crafty, you can even make a pinhole viewer using a cardboard box.
If you want to use a telescope, binoculars, or camera to view the sun, you must place a safe solar filter on those too, except during totality.
If you're not lucky enough to be near the eclipse, you can still experience it all with NASA live coverage on NASA Plus, April 8th from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Of course, you can find all this information and more at go.nasa.gov/eclipse 2024.
Happy viewing!
So freaking cool. So freaking cool. I'm such a nut when it comes to this stuff. I've, space and all that kind of stuff I've loved for a long time. And so to hear NASA astronauts talking about the solar eclipse, I'm just kind of like jonesing right now. Like, wow, this is really cool. Do you have any like special plans for during the eclipse at all? You just work, or you gonna take a break?
So I noticed that when I was in Pittsburgh, there are some businesses that are actually closing for the
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yes.
So and I'm not reopening till the next morning. Like it was a
Yeah.
Tim Hortons that we went through, and I was like,
Yeah.
"What?" I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
the eclipse is not an all day thing, but somehow they don't even have to come back after the eclipse is done." And so they're close to like 5, in the morning the next day. I know
Right.
here, because we're not able to see it completely. We're just seeing a partial one where we are. They are still sending the kids home at half day. So I know some
Wow.
kids are not even going to go to school because parents have to go get them a half day. So that's just inconvenient. So because of
Wow.
that, some parents are not going to be able to go to work today because the school is discharging them for this.
Wow.
So yeah. So I'm at home working today, and so I will take a peek.
Right.
Take a peek,
Right.
safely take a peek, and probably watch that NASA coverage. That was really cool on NASA Live on YouTube.
Yeah. Again, I think that's probably going to be one of the best ways to do it because they're going to have more detail. They're going to
Mhm,
be
mhm.
like all into it because this is like a rare incident that occurs in astronomy, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm planning on doing a nice meditation during the time, really getting in
Mm.
tune with the energy that's going to be going on. I'll probably step out for a little bit, but I'm going to try to like be very present. Uh, Sonia Francis has a fantastic article in soulivity.com now that is talking about the solar eclipse, which I think is really, really cool. And so if you want more information about, you know, what's it about from from an astrology standpoint and things that you need to know, go to soulivity.com and you'll be able to learn more about the solar eclipse itself, you know, what it means for you personally in terms of your sun sign, moon sign, others, this kind of stuff, or just in general. I mean, even if you're not into that stuff, there's some really good information in there around just things that you're supposed to pay attention to over the next, you know, week or two or three, that I thought was really fascinating. So, lot going on, lot going on
Hmm.
this week,
You know what I
lot
like?
going on
What
this
I
week.
like about astrology is that, like, I've been tuning in like for the last week actually, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really someone that's like heavy into it, but I've been
Yeah.
tuning into it because the last week I've been feeling very off. And I'm like, okay, this
Wow.
doesn't make
Yeah.
sense, right? Like I'm getting my sleep, I'm drinking,
Yeah.
I'm like my exercise, like I'm doing all of like my self-care, and I
Mm-hmm.
still don't
Mm-hmm.
feel well. Like if I'm
Mm,
off and I'm lacking on my self-care, as soon as I bump that up, then I'm like,
mm-hmm.
okay, I'm back. But when I'm doing all of the things and I still, then I'm like, there's something outside myself that's affecting how I'm feeling. And there are
Mm-hmm.
so many really strong energies that do affect us, because of what the planets are doing with each other and
Right.
where we are in space, and the moon and all of like it all affects us. So because
Right.
everything is energy, so it makes sense.
Right.
But I think definitely with what's happening today, and just, prior to it, leading up to this, there's been some particular energies that have been really heavy. So I don't know if people have been feeling maybe a little more tired than usual. That's something that like me
Yeah.
and my friends have been noticing, that just, yeah, more, really more tired.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me, right?
Hmm.
Where um I think that one of the things that Sonia was saying was this time of year there is what did she say? I'm trying to remember. Um that we're going through a period of renewal, but it's renewal plus being very grounded in your intentions around what's coming into the next phase of your life, which is supposed to start like in like May or June. So it's like something very quick. And so a lot of people were going to feel within their bodies a little different around it, and that maybe even feeling a little off, but it's okay, that it's
Hmm.
really just about like going within, just paying attention. So the fact that you were paying attention, that's the things that we're supposed to do, and that we're supposed to get really clear about our intentions, specifically our intentions around relationships, but not just outer, more so inner, like our relationship with ourselves and how that affects our relationships with others. So
Hmm.
again,
Hmm.
I'll post the two links to for the two stories from
Hmm.
Sonia in our chat so that people can read those. Um, um, but yeah, I mean, this is a very special time. I'll put it that way. It's a very special time. It's
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
it's nothing to be afraid of. Though you might feel a little fear and a little discomfort, it's really about this coming of expansion and growth, because this today's solar eclipse is like a very, very powerful one, and that it's not, this one isn't supposed to come around again for something like another 19 years or something like that. But you know that I know enough to be dangerous, y'all.
You know, I feel like they always do that though, right? That the media
Yeah,
wants to like fear. Because I looked in, I was like, okay, why is there all this hype this year? And it
yeah,
turned out we had the last one in 2017. And I
correct.
watched that one too. Out
Me
like
too. Yeah.
my bed. Well, that's why I was like, and then I'm like, well,
It
when's the
was
next
not the
one?
same at all. It wasn't
But
the
we have
same at
two.
all.
We
Yeah,
have two next year, Brian. We have two
right,
next year. So
right.
I'm like, okay, these are not as rare as they're like
Yeah, people are like,
making it
eh,
sound.
like 17. They're like, eh. Now it's like, oh my God, we got to go see the eclipse. And
Yeah.
so, anyway, listen, we're going to take a break, everybody. But when we come back, we've got more Soulivity today. It's a motivational Monday. We're going to come back and we're going to tell you about a strange celebrity that's right here in Washington, D.C., that a lot of people don't know about unless you come here at a certain time of year. So we'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Do you see me kneeling on this dual roller called Parasetter? It's actually comfortable because of this channel and the softness of the special foam. It feels like my kneecaps are being massaged. When I lie down, my spine is housed in this channel, while the convex rollers massage my muscles. They let go and lengthen. There's a traction effect from my head on the headrest and my mid-back from the rib wrap, which hugs me. When I start the breathing sequence, I feel calm because my cortisol levels are dropping. Lower cortisol means bye-bye constant hunger. Parasetter is 40 inches long and much more comfortable than old-style rollers, but it weighs only 10 ounces. Parasetter, just like Pilates was, is no longer an insider secret. Do yourself a favor. Reset your parasympathetic nervous system. Defeat stress. Lying, sitting, kneeling, or standing. This unique patented roller helps everyone.
Hi there, Sheila Applegate here with some exciting news. I've joined the incredible Soulivity team as the host of the new Consciously Awesome live show, where I will be sharing insights to help you discover your full brilliance and claim the vibrant life you deserve. So tune in every Wednesday right here on Soulivity TV to join the fun, and remember to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an awesome week, and I will see you on Wednesday.
Hey, we're back here with more on Soulivity today. It's another Motivational Monday show where we're going to bring you news and information from around the world that will help get you inspired and motivated to start your work week. Now, Teresa, here in Washington, D.C., hundreds of thousands of people from around the world come here to see the cherry blossoms as they come into full bloom. Have you been here for the Cherry Blossom Festival or see the cherry blossoms at all? Teresa?
Sorry, I had myself on mute. Sorry.
Oh, no. No problem. So have you been
I
here
love
for the cherry blossom?
blossoms. No, I love them though, but I have not seen them.
Oh, man, you need to come here. You need to come here and see them. I think they're still in bloom. We've had some good weather, and so they're staying around longer than usual. But there's one unusual sight that makes this time all the more special. Here's more on Stumpy, which is a rare superstar of the Cherry Blossom Show. This is more from CBS Sunday Mornings.
Time for us to meet Stumpy, a tree, Faith Saley tells us, destined to stand the test of time.
With Congress mired in gridlock and a presidential campaign bitterly dividing voters, it can seem like Washington doesn't have much to offer in the way of bipartisanship. But there is a unifying figure in D.C., and like our government, it has 3 branches.
This tree, affectionately known as Stumpy.
A beloved tree known as Stumpy.
Yes, Stumpy. The homely, hollowed-out husk of a cherry tree by the D.C. tidal basin. It's not the prettiest, It's not the healthiest. Still, tourists and locals alike can't get enough of this celebrity.
Just stands out, holds his own year after year.
I think it's the underdog, you know? It's the underdog. He's still making it.
Stumpy never dies. Stumpy never gives up.
Photographer Kevin Ambrose sells a Seasons of Stumpy wall calendar.
This past December, I decorated Stumpy like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree and took a photo of Stumpy with Christmas bulbs. And it was popular.
Do you think Stumpy's beautiful?
No, I don't. I think Stumpy is quite a rotting little tree, but it's so ugly, it's beautiful. Make it that way.
If you look at the lower 80% of him, you would say he's dead. And then yet every spring, he puts out these beautiful blossoms.
National Mall spokesperson Mike Litterst says this lovable runt endures despite its inhospitable habitat.
The amount of water that is coming over the seawalls is simply far more than the roots of the cherry trees are capable of withstanding. Quite simply, it has killed a lot of the trees.
Sea levels at the tidal basin have risen about a foot over the last century, due in part to climate change. A new $113 million repair project will raise seawalls and widen walkways. The bad news? 158 cherry trees will have to be removed. And Stumpy is on the chopping block.
Now that cherry trees' days are numbered.
When word came, reaction was swift. Trumpet serenades, floral tributes. A delegation from the Japanese embassy came by to pay their respects. The fragile tree even had to be fenced off for its own safety. But a reprieve is not in the cards. Stumpy's frailty makes the prospect of uprooting and replanting it impractical.
Is it bittersweet for you?
I think right now it's still bitter. We have to fix the seawall. We are losing cherry trees every year because these seawalls are failing, and we can't replace those trees until we fix the problem.
The National Mall will actually see a net gain in cherry trees after replacements are planted. Clippings from Stumpy will be used to grow genetic clones, and the dead trees will be ground into mulch to enrich the soil.
It's kind of like a sacrifice story.
It's a sacrifice, and it's also the full cycle, the full succession of a forest. The wood.
National Mall arborist Matthew Morrison says Stumpy will nourish other trees for generations to come. A lasting legacy, long after its final bloom.
When we as people sometimes feel like we would lay down and quit, we see Stumpy just fighting and gracing us with beautiful flowers. There's a fabulous spirit there, and the public identifies with that.
Isn't that lovely?
Brian, have you seen Stumpy?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
And you hugged it too? You also gave it a hug?
Yeah, of course.
Brian,
I'm a tree hugger.
It's everyone. What's funny is, and I was listening to see if somebody was going to say that in that clip. It's everyone's love that's literally keeping that alive. When I went to Mexico, there was this tree that, same thing. It's been through so many like hurricanes and other things out there in Mexico, and it should have died. And the thing was like still surviving. I can't remember. It was like over 200 years old. That's how big this tree was. Like its roots that some of them were, I can't remember the type of tree, but some of the roots were as high as my knee, protruding out from the ground. So it was massive, but parts of the tree were like also hollowed out and had fungus on it. And they're like, yeah, but somehow this tree continues to live. And it's because this has been like it was a tour to go and see this tree in the middle of this forest. Everybody giving it so much love, meditating in front of the tree, that all of this positive energy continues to keep it alive. So that's the truth about Stumpy.
And I love the fact that they're doing that. The story includes that though Stumpy is going to be, they have to take it down so that they can do the renovations around the tidal basin to expand access and expand the number of trees that are there, that Stumpy's legacy will live on in renewal of other cherry blossom trees that are going to be there. So I just thought that full circle of life and love and again, if you ever saw it in person, you especially during winter, you think, why is this tree here, right? Because it literally looks like it's dead. But every year, like it was saying, Stumpy comes back and has these beautiful cherry blossoms that come and it just blooms again. And so it's like, it's just an interesting story. Just a really beautiful story, and I wanted to share it today because Stumpy's not going to be around that much longer. So if you want to see Stumpy, you need to get out here, toot sweet, and see him before he's gone. Anyway, listen, we're going to take another quick break, everybody. But when we come back, we'll have more of Soulivity Today, including some wonderful work that's coming out of Madison, Wisconsin, turning bicycle riding into something even more special. Hi there, this is Brian with Soulivity.com. I want to share some exciting news about our new Aspire Academy by Soulivity. Now, you probably want to know what the Aspire Academy by Soulivity is. Well, it exclusively connects you with people around the globe and who share the intense desire to improve themselves and create a better life for themselves today. There's classes, there's workshops, there's live events, and even more exclusively just for you. You see, I wanted you to have a safe space where you could grow, you can learn, and it would empower you in all aspects of your life, including your mind, your body, and your soul. So how do you get started? Well, it is so easy. First of all, the best part, joining Aspire Academy is absolutely free. Just click on the Join Now button, sign up, and begin your journey. As a special part of this invitation to you, there are some free courses that are available for you to try from our amazing roster of coaches and collaborators. It's our way of saying thank you for all of your support and being with us along our journey of expansion. I hope you enjoyed the Aspire Academy by Soulivity today. Start the process. Learn more about your passion, your purpose, and how to live a higher quality life. Hey, we're back here with more on Soulivity Today. It's a motivational Monday show where we are bringing you news and information from around the world to keep you inspired. Back with me is Teresa Greco. Teresa, you like bike riding, right? Are you on mute again? Did you mute yourself? Did we lose you? Did we lose Teresa? Well, while we're trying to get Teresa back, let me introduce you to this next story. There are a lot of cities in America that are trying to get more people engaged and involved in riding bicycles as both a mode of eco-friendly transportation, but also as a way to create a healthier community. Now, in Madison, Wisconsin, where it is already bike-friendly, one group has increased ridership and community action at the same time. Wheels for Winners is rewarding anyone who puts in time serving the community with a brand new bicycle. Let's learn more right now.
Mason is a great place to ride bicycles, but unfortunately not everybody in the community has the opportunity to enjoy those resources equally.
At Wheels, we have made it part of our mission since we started to provide bikes to people that did community service. And our volunteers have joined us every step of the way.
When we get here, we pick up the bike we're working on, we strip it down, clean it, make sure there aren't any broken parts that need to be replaced, and make sure the brakes work. And when somebody comes, give them a helmet and send them on their way.
We distributed 175 bikes to earners and an equal amount to support community biking events.
One of the programs is the mobile bike library. So we have a fleet of bikes. Last year we have 12 events in the neighborhoods where we brought our bike library and we are providing mechanics. We started with one trailer for the mobile bike library, and we're this year expanding to a second trailer.
Not only are we entirely volunteer supported, but we're supported by the generosity of the public. It involves grants from funders such as American Family. So that's really helped us stabilize and expand our programming.
The best part is seeing the kids get the bike and seeing how happy they are as they ride out.
Some kids are just overjoyed, and you can see it in their faces.
Cycling is something that it's for everyone, and everybody should have the opportunity to try it. That's it. That's the goal, to create a community for kids that have not been engaged in cycling before.
Now, Wheels for Winners isn't alone in its admirable operations, and as a 501c3, it receives support from the community at a tax-free level, and even received a generous grant recently from American Family Insurance. How that's so nice, right, Teresa?
Yeah, I think it's great. And I thought that biking was just like something that we all needed to know, like swimming, right? Like
Right.
just it's like skating, like these are just like life's basic skills here. Like everyone knows, everybody needs to know. So like when my
Right.
kids became of age, it was like, okay, like now it's time for them to like have a bike, and now it's time for them to like take their wheels off. And there I was running behind my kids, with them on the bike, teaching them how to go with the two wheels. Like this is what we do. But then when I was away in Mexico at a recent event called the Miss Face of Humanity, which I think you know that I was at, and we had delegates from around the world, women change makers who are doing different humanitarian things in their respective countries. Anyways, one evening we had the opportunity to participate in a biking event similar to like what was just brought up in the story, and where they had all these different bikes there, and people could grab a bike and ride through the city that night, which it was very cool. But it turned out there was only out of like 12 girls, there were only like a third of them that actually knew how to ride a bike. And I thought,
What?
wow. Yeah, yeah. They're like, yeah, we don't know. And some of the girls were from Asia.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, you just think, oh yeah, this is just like a basic skill, but it's not. It's not everywhere, around the world.
That
So,
was, well,
so I think what they're doing is
yeah.
great. I
Yeah,
think
I
that what they're
mean,
doing is great.
yeah, I don't, yeah, that would be something that I would think was unusual, but I guess, again, maybe it's not so unusual depending upon where you come from. I know some people here in America that don't know how to ride a bike, because they you know, just never did it. It was never like something that they needed to do. But once they did, it was like, wow, this is really great, right? Like, on a beautiful afternoon, you can get out and ride and that kind of thing. So, way to go to for Wheels, Wheels for Winners, and trying to like get people engaged in their community by contributing and donating time, and then also getting a bike from it. So I think that all the people need to do is show proof of 10 hours of community service, and they get a bike for free. It's a brand new bike.
Wow.
So it's really, really
Yeah.
cool. All right, so we got one more great story to go, but we're going to take this quick break, and when we come back, we'll learn more about this one extraordinary man and his life and legacy.
Are you ready to take that first step towards true, unwavering inner happiness? Are you like thousands of people who have everything they need, not want, but need, and still can't seem to find happiness and fulfillment in their lives? If so, the Steps to Happiness show is for you. On my show, you will learn about the principles and practices that lead to true inner happiness. Because guess what? It isn't found in our external environment, but within ourselves instead. Together with my guests, we will explore the latest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being practices. And together, we'll advise you on the actionable steps you can take towards a happier, more fulfilled, authentic life. So I invite you to join me each week on Soulivity TV on the Steps to Happiness show with me, Teresa Greco.
6 years ago when I started Soulivity, my vision was to support everyone in improving their life through the discovery of their passion and purpose so they could become the best version of themselves, to battle fear and ignorance and create a better world today. Get inspired to live your passion and purpose. Visit Soulivity.com now.
Hello there. We're back here with more on Soulivity Today. It's another Motivational Monday show where we are bringing you news and information from around the world that will help you get inspired and motivated to start your week. And back with me is happiness life coach, Teresa Greco. Teresa, this is a great story that I'm going to go into in just a second. I think many times people have the belief that most doctors are invincible, that when it comes to their health, they have it all figured out. But in a lot of cases, this simply isn't true. And I found this one great example of one doctor who found himself not only homeless, but in the grip of mental health crisis. Here's more on his amazing story to become one of the world's leading and award-winning psychiatrists.
Hello, greetings. I'm Dr. Ahmed Hankir. I have an interest in academic psychiatry and I hold an academic post as research fellow with the Bedfordshire Centre for Mental Health Research in association with Cambridge University. I am a proud British Muslim, father, husband, survivor of psychological trauma, and author of The Wounded Healer. The Wounded Healer has been described as an innovative method of teaching that blends the performing arts with psychiatry. So when I was a medical student, I woke up one morning to discover that my hometown in Lebanon was bombed and that tens of thousands of people were killed overnight. Now, there's this perception that medical students and doctors should be invincible. But the reality is that we are human beings. And I experienced oscillations in my mood. I developed a mood disorder. They asked, well, what do you mean by oscillations in mood? Well, I say, well, sometimes I'm elated. My mood is up there. And when I'm up there, this is how I feel. This is how I think. This is how I talk. This is how I behave. But when I'm down there, that's how I think. That's how I talk. That's how I behave. I was referred eventually to a psychiatrist. And I definitely credit my recovery to the crucial contribution that the psychiatrist made. And my message to medical students is to protect their minds and to protect their hearts, because 1 in 10 medical students at some point during the course will experience suicidal ideation. And tragically, suicide is overrepresented in medical students compared to the general population. And there's nothing wrong with experiencing a mental health problem. We need to collectively normalize mental illness as we do physical illness and stand in solidarity with those who have mental health issues. So it's important to raise awareness about this phenomenon and to challenge any stigma that might be inside you. People who have mental health issues can recover, and not only can they recover, and not only can they function again, but they can be the best at what they do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Now, Professor Hunk here says that psychiatrists living with a mental health condition should not feel ashamed. They should feel empowered to talk, to be honest, open, and transparent about their mental health experiences. He says, I know it's a generalization, but maybe the British, they tend to be more reserved, and I respect that, but there's a lot of people who do not want to share. So it's important. I wanted to make sure that in the midst of what we're doing on Soulivity around health equity, that we remember that health outcomes just aren't for patients, they're for everyone. And that, especially with our mental health, Teresa, and I know you know, in terms of the coaching that you do and the advocacy that you do, you emphasize this a lot. And that our medical professionals also need that support as well, because it can be very, 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 very mentally challenging for them on an ongoing basis.
Yeah. And during COVID, and with all the stuff that was happening in the hospitals, there were
Yeah.
many physicians. I mean, a lot of healthcare professionals that work in that arena were deeply, deeply affected. I know there was one story that I caught on the news one night of a doctor who took her life because she had been, having very little sleep, trying to juggle her personal life and the amount of time that she was spending at the hospital during like the peak of the crisis was just like overwhelming, and unfortunately she took her life. So they are under in certain circumstances, right, under immense pressure. And so thank you for bringing light to that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, um, and he is exceptional in terms of his work. He's advocating both for patients to take care of their mental health, but also medical professionals. He's written many books about this and is been teaching. So go check out the information that we put in our chat around him. And if you're listening to this on radio, you can just go to soulivity.com and check out the stories there. Teresa, we're going to take another quick break, but we're not done yet. We got more of Soulivity Today coming up in just a second.
Would you like to be one of the first people to experience mental freedom? Mental freedom is a coaching practice with 6 core principles: improving hope, self-efficacy, optimism, resilience, and general well-being. Mental freedom only takes 6 sessions. It is designed to give you the tools you need to help yourself. It can help with any situation: relationship problems, past trauma, career decisions, parenting challenges, addiction, and mental health concerns. Incorporating the mental freedom framework into your life will deliver an approach to master any situation and a pathway toward achieving inner peace. Mental freedom provides the information and tools that you need to grow and be bigger than anything that ever happens to you. So if you're looking for one-on-one or a group coaching program that will allow you to address any situation that comes up in your life with practical tools to give you more peace and joy, then join the Mental Freedom Program in Soulivity's Aspire Academy. There are very limited spots available, so don't delay. I hope to see you there.
Hey, we are back on Soulivity Today. Let's get to some shameless plugs, Teresa. Woo woo! I love this. I love this part. Want to talk to people about something that we are pleased to announce, and that is Soulivity's Bridging the Gap Health Forums. They're dedicated to raising awareness about important health topics, including the latest trends, research, and resources for creating health equity for all. Now, you can join me and others on Wednesday, April 17th, as we bring a spotlight to widely known health inequities, the critical importance of broadening health research, valuable guidance, and insights from renowned health professionals. Now, these forums are absolutely free to the public, and you can learn more by going to soulivity.com/bridging the gap. That's bridging-the-gap at soulivity.com. And Teresa, this one on April 17th, we're going to be talking about stigma, which a lot of health professionals are calling a national health crisis, including the doctor that we just heard from as part of that mental health story, where he was talking about there's stigma within the medical community around health. So we're going to be talking about that. Also, we just had a wonderful promo featuring you and a class that you are teaching right now at a fantastic price that's not going to last forever, called 6 Weeks to Mental Freedom. Can you tell people a little bit about this?
Thank you. So many of us are not taught or given the tools we need to help ourselves, right? That oftentimes people are suffering in unhappiness, suffering in their problems, whatever is upsetting you and taking away some of your mental freedom, whether it's, stuff from the past, stuff that's coming up day to day, or maybe it's just, future worry and doubt that's robbing you of your peace and your happiness. And, going to the doctor and just getting a prescription is not going to solve the issues that are causing you to feel the way that you feel. And science has shown that doing the things that happy people do can help you to feel happier. And what that means is that we need to be given the tools to help us to move through the things that are, as I said, preventing our happiness and peace. And mental freedom is one of those tools that in just 6 weeks, you are given a tool every single week that can help you to move through any issue that you're facing. So the program has been tested across the world in a whole bunch of different arenas and has been shown to be effective to overcome any issue, whether it's, personal or professional. There are tools within this program that are going to equip you with being able to come back to a place of freedom, mental freedom.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important. So thank you for this. You can learn more about and even sign up for 6 Weeks to Mental Freedom with Teresa Greco at soulivity.com/Teresa Mental Freedom. That's all one word, Teresa Mental Freedom. We've also put that information in our chat so that people can go and learn about this fantastic program. Teresa, time always goes by so quickly on Mondays. We're having so much fun.
Yeah, I love these stories. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here. Always appreciate the fact that you're here sharing your light and love and like these special programs so that people can move forward with their lives and create more happiness and joy and peace as well. So thank you. Thank you. More to come. Listen, everybody, we're about to get out of here, but just want to remind you about the fact that Soulivity is on all these major social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're on all of them. Make sure you sign up and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you know when we're live. Also, you can listen to these great broadcasts at any time by going to your podcast provider, looking up Soulivity Today, and downloading it. You can take us wherever you go. Again, home, work, on your drive, on a picnic, whatever it is. Also want to remind you that, hey, listen, Soulivity.com has some very, very special content for your passion and purpose. And so go there to Soulivity.com today, and you can learn more about, again, the solar eclipse that's happening today. We put a great hot read from Sheila Applegate around truths around channeling and spiritual language. So go to Soulivity.com and check that out, and you can empower yourself so you can start creating a life of higher quality living today. So listen, this is Brian Wesley Johnson saying thank you for being here. This is how we do it every Monday through Friday. We are bringing you content that will help you discover or rediscover your passion, which is something that you would get up every morning to do, using that to serve your community, which is all about your purpose. And then when you combine this with some other tools, sooner but later, you're going to create your best life today, something we call high quality living or even thriving. Listen, on behalf of all of us here at Soulivity, thank you for the continued support. Thank you to all of our fans way out in Southern California at KMET 1490 AM, where you can listen or watch us at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Or if you're here on the East Coast, you can listen and watch us at 8 a.m. Eastern for these fantastic broadcasts. Again, this is Brian Wesley Johnson saying, on the behalf of all of us here at Soulivity, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
This work is subject to copyright owned by Affinity Global LLC. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this is expressly prohibited unless Affinity Global LLC has explicitly granted its